Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about gaming streaming services. So let's dive right into it. Well, first we have to just look at rough overview. What is this idea? The idea is basically we want to utilize the power of the cloud, basically servers. Now, when we are talking about servers, the utilization of its power does not mean one-to-one. Be mindful, some services may give you that option. Some services may basically pool all the resources, make them into one giant computational unit, and then split off its section based on the basically how much money you are giving them. So it's up to them. So because games will run on virtual machine, they're not gonna directly run on server simply because it will be too inefficient. With a virtual machine, basically they may have like a one processor that is running 4 computers or even more than that. So that's the whole idea with this. Now you will supposed to upload your keyboard and mouse. Basically you're supposed to upload your inputs, and it's gonna give you a video stream as a download, like how this TV is being downloading video directly from my graphics card. That's there. So that's the whole point. Now be mindful, before even you think about this, you must have great internet access. What does great internet access mean? Simply do not even think about it if you are talking anything below 100 Mbps and with low latency. So while I do take care of the internet speed part, because my internet connection is 300 Mbps both up and down, so speed is not an issue, but my latency is really bad. Like it's 35 millisecond to a server near to me, so fundamentally it will not work. Now again, it's a very location dependent thing. So you may be in a lucky scenario where it's just like, hey dude, that's like 700 kilometers away from here, that's the server next to me. You may get latency very low, like 5 ms or anything below 5, you're good. So that's the first requirement. Now a lot of people are pouring their money into this simply because it has the potential to be the next Netflix. This started as a very kind of a niche thing. Who cares, gaming and all that, but there is a lot of potential. And if somebody properly monetizes it, properly basically makes their name brand stand out and have loyal customer base, you are talking about some serious amount of money, basically almost at the same level as Amazon Web Services, which is making Jeff Bezos very, very ludicrously, idiotically rich. So what are the players in this game at this point in time? Now we have big players, we have old players, and we have startups. So basically every Tom, Dick and Harry that can throw their money into this, they are throwing their money into this. Simply because you can start with something big as like Google, they launched their Stadia. Amazon, they are working on their Luna. Then you have old players like PlayStation. They already had a service, they already laid the pipeline and functionality of this, so they already have a lot of experience with that. Then you have Microsoft xCloud, same thing as this. And then you have Nvidia GeForce, they already have a lot of experience with the graphics department. So you can understand these are old players, you have big players, and then you even have like startup like Doofy. Now Doofy is interesting for Indians simply because this is made in India. So there is a lot of players into this, and these are just a few. There are many more. Be mindful of that. There is like a lot of players pouring their money into this. Now, one tricky part at this point in time is the licensing era. Because the system is so new, people have not figured out which license agreement they have to agree upon, because all of these companies have to agree on one license, one architecture, quote unquote, so to say. So right now these things are very unclear and messy, because for example, GeForce now was, the idea is very simple. They're gonna give you a virtual computer and they're gonna run video games that you have already bought. Basically you have bought it, we're gonna basically allow you to run those services from our virtual equipments if you pay us a monthly fee. Now that's awesome, sounds legally true and like fundamentally functional. And again, Nvidia do have basically lawyers, so they must have checked it that is it's compliant and all that jazz. But still game company simply said like, nope, we want to double charge our player base, so no, you cannot do that, even though person actually owns the game. So fundamentally there is a lot of system issues at this point in time. So do you own the game? Short answer, no, you do not own the game. Like the moment we stopped buying cartridges, CDs and DVDs, the end that ended, simply because even if you buy a physical media nowadays, it's 100% useless, simply because most of the games are so buggy and need so much huge patches, is that if they lock you out from their server end, you stuck, you just have a useless disk at this point in time. So fundamentally speaking, that's done, and you paying for the service. Now be mindful, are you paying for a service as a whole, like in case of Netflix, where you're just like you pay for a Netflix and you get everything that is inside Netflix as long as your country allows it. That's it. Now what will happen in this sort of system? Are you paying for a service, or you're paying for service plus the video games that you have to buy inside it, or what you are doing, in after termination? Basically, you may end up spending a lot of money into this, and you may want something. It's like, hey, I'm done with the service was good, I enjoyed it, 10 years everything was happy. It's like, now it's time to, I've matured in my life, I want to move on to different things. I just want to, have these as a backup. Again, it's a monthly system, so you backup simply means you have to keep paying that monthly forever, so to say. So like, what will you do if you have to terminate? We do not know. And what happens if the game studio leaves the platform? That which happened already with GeForce. It's like, even if you paid it, like let's say you paid for Cyberpunk 2077 in Stadia, and the studio is like, nope, what then? You already made a payment, so what then? So at this point in time, a lot of things are in air. Everything is messy, everything is hodgepodge. So it's really not good situation at this point in time. Many people want to extract as much money as possible, but they know, like even each game studio know, if they start charging too much, people will simply start pirating again. So there is a limit how much they can do, but like that balance has not been reached yet. This is a new uncharted territory. So and what will happen if you change the service? Let's say you go from Stadia to, let's say, Amazon's offering Luna. What will happen then? So lot of license hodgepodge is there. Now, scope aspect of it, that's the reason why so many people are pouring so much money into this, because I was even unaware of this, but there is a lot of potential in this aspect. Think of this way: if this services works out, you can work from anywhere, anything, basically on anything also. So think of this TV, I can make this my display for a high-end workstation system. Now be mindful, workstation system makes gaming system look like chump change. Workstation system that are designed for CAD modeling, designed for like SolidWorks with actual fluid simulations, those puppy make your gaming graphics card look like, hey, look so cute. I can buy RAM at that price. It's like the whole graphics card budget, yeah, that's just for RAM, 128 GB RAM. So be mindful, there is a whole different industry that most people are not aware of when you're talking about workstation PCs. Now, what if you can rent that? Now, if that happens, you're talking a world where everything has become a service. Now this is kind of a double-edged sword, simply because it's a new way of thinking. Think of this way: Linus Tech Tips did an interesting video where they basically tore down a server, and they were like, okay, this is the server that's gonna be loaned to you. Basically per month you are paying a certain amount of money and you are utilizing that system. Awesome. Now here's the first thing you will say is like, what happens if I add up all the money? Let's say I have to have this system 24/7, and I'm gonna add this up, like let's say $50 a month. You add that up for a few years, let's say 5 years. Here's the deal: you would not be able to buy anything remotely comparable to what they are able to buy, or what services they are offering. Basically, they are giving you Quadro graphics card with a high-end as processor. You will not be able to buy the motherboard needed for it, let alone every other component. How the heck that happened? Economy of scale, simply because that's the same reason Amazon can give you prices that are so low that is like, there is no way of a mom and pop shop can compete with it. The same thing happens here also. It's like they can offer you computation that is so cheap, computation as in teraflops wise, you simply cannot buy it unless you are GG rich. If you are GG rich, then enjoy, but in most of the scenario, you simply cannot compete. So it changes the way we think. Now gaming is just a starting point. Like that's what happened with Shadow. People realize like, hey, Shadow is giving us a virtualized Windows instance. What if I do something else with this? Like, what if I run my video editing software on that? Awesome, my videos are rendering instantly. Like there is a very serious amount of time where my system is lagging while I'm making these videos. Again, my system is very old, but again, that's a downtime for me. But again, if I'm working on a virtual system which is ludicrously powerful, it will render the video in the background first. It will render very quickly, and while it's doing the rendering, my system won't freeze up, because it will be like, what, 6 core dedicated to me. So fundamentally, whole PC can be streamed at that point in time, and that's the whole thing. So if you have a screen, you have a workstation. Now that's a fundamental, what we call, paradigm shift. If this works out, this is going to change the game, simply because you cannot compete financially with this, and there won't be any reason to that, because while you are having a slow quote-unquote access to, let's say, from your end, basically keyboard mouse that you have, display you have, to the server will be slow, but server to the main internet backbone will be ludicrously fast. So maybe let's say you are dealing with something else. Let's say you want to do stock market trading. You are receiving a signal that's 50 millisecond late, but you wrote an AI that does the trading very quickly, but AI needs to be running on ludicrously low latency system. That's 1 millisecond. You're gonna run it on that system. You're gonna utilize the benefit of that. So there is a lot of scope in this puppy, like lot of tangible scope. I'm not just like, gaming would be like, just dude, gaming, how we got the ball rolling. Now we are like on a free fall at this point in time. So scope is seriously there. Now, what we can expect in the future? Well, let me put it simply, it's here to stay. It's not going to go away. Same way Netflix is not going to go away, same thing is happening here also. Now, over time, this will become the dominant form of computing. So you're never going to have like a computer. Again, you will have a computer that basically from that point on, basically, let's say in 2030, you're going to have a laptop that will still have more computational power than anything you can buy today, but it won't be computer for that generation. It will be like, hey, it's just a computer powerful enough to run basic OS, just to like, open things and configure things, and it will have the best, latest and greatest encryption and decryption system, video encoding and coding software. That's it. Coding and decoding system. So again, some computation will still be on your end, but it will be minuscule compared to what you can access. So all the basically laptops, tablets, mobile phone, those will become basically fancy terminal. At that point in time, whole things have changed. Like, it fundamentally changes what you can do, what any person can do. Think of this way, like if somebody says, hey, I want to open a basically YouTube career, they're gonna need a good PC. Like, you need that. Like, now some people will say, oh, I can open it on a potato, but good luck with that. So again, if you want to do that, now if everything is happening on cloud and all you have to take care of is little bit of money that you are paying per month and a little bit of money you are paying for the internet per month, the end, you're good, you're solid, you're golden. So fundamentally, that will require a lot of R&D to make it that good. Thankfully, many players equal a lot of R&D. Now, even the small players, they are, because they know competing against Google, competing against specifically Amazon, because Amazon is running the entirety of World Wide Web, because Amazon Web Services are so integral to almost everything at this point in time. So they have the know-how, they have the logistics, they have the financial backing, and they have the actual experience. Like, Google does not have equivalent hardware experience where it comes to basically Amazon, because Amazon is feeding much larger audience. So Amazon has some serious horsepower behind them. What if they actually do that? So how the heck these small startups supposed to compete? They are fine-tuning it, optimization. How the heck basically Apple used to be so smooth even on ancient hardware. Like, I'm talking about the first generations of iPhone. Simple optimization. So there is a lot of reality there. Now, all these things would be just like, pie in the sky until 2020. Now, 2020 made work from home real. It forced work from home real, because you have to understand there are two types of manager. First type of manager that climbs up the ranks. Basically, he was a worker, started on a lower post, junior, then mediums, then senior, then like experience, then it's like, yeah, I'm the manager. Those persons are good. You want to work inside them. They will look very tough, they will look very disciplined and all that, because again, they have climbed the ladder. But then there are different kind of managers that are like money based manager. Basically, like either they came from the left angle, or like they bought the shares, so they have the controlling authority. You never want to work inside them, and many companies go under because of them. Because again, they don't, like, they think they are the manager, because on the post they are the manager, but they do not know how to run these things. And those people want to control everything. It's like, dude, your mouse pointer is not moving at the perfect speed. It's like, I'm not getting like 100% efficiency in your work. It's like, and you can see that, like, I can guarantee you 5 or 6 of them would have experienced these sort of things. Most of you would have experienced 1 or 2 manager of this caliber, where it's like, dude, let me work at my pace. Now 2020 forced that. Like, 2020 took control away from them, where it's like, dude, I can't do anything. And they did try to have apps that is like monitoring everything. People just like, dude, no, just. So 2020 forced the reality is like, dude, you can work from home. And fundamentally, almost every job that is working with IT can be done from home. Now, what can we do at that point in time? Think of this way. Let's say you want to open a company right now of 100 people, that you need 100 people to get your job done. Here's the deal. You will still have an office. For some reasons, you need to have office. You're going to have only 25 people, and 75 people will be working from home, and 25%, like, that will be, a managerial post, basically people you don't want to, mix. Or sometimes you may, like, for a gaming studio, you may need to have that consoles pre-builds that you have to make sure that they are secure. So in those sort of scenario, having an office building would be really helpful. So you get the point. Like, these things became possible in 2020. Now, which person at this point in time does not have an internet connection or does not have equipment that can stream? That's the reality. Like, the foundation is being laid down, and 2020 turbocharged that foundation. So whoever figures this out, like how the heck to give you efficient, reliable computing. And again, there is a X variable, simply because based on your location, you could have GG experience where like, dude, I'm cool, I'm awesome, I'm working on a computer that barely latency is like 3 to 5 millisecond. You will have fundamental hard time detecting that. And versus somebody who's like, may have a lot of money, but due to latency, they may be in a scenario, dude, I'm paying for it, but my latency is like 70 millisecond. It will be difficult to use. So there is a room for improvement on internet department, definitely. but you get the point. Like, train has left the station and things are going. So there's a lot of tangible benefits in this in the future. So this was my presentation on basically gaming streaming services. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.